Yes, welcome. It's 1 o'clock. So welcome to this digital event with DanCann Pharma, following the release of their first quarter results. My name is Henrik Ekman, and I'm equity analyst here at HC Andersen Capital. And with me today, I have co-founder and CEO of DanCann Pharma, Jeppe Krogh Rasmussen. Before I hand the word over to Jeppe, just a few remarks, practical remarks. As always, you're very welcome to forward questions in your in the chat, and I will do my best to forward them to Jeppe. So with that, Jeppe, a very warm welcome to you. And it has been there has been happening a lot at DanCann Pharma recently. So please take us through the highlights.
Thanks, Henrik, and thanks for having me for this event. So yeah, I would like to take you through what's been going on in DanCann Pharma today throughout the first quarter, but also a bit what has happened after the period. Yes, this works.
Yep.
So yeah, basically forward-looking statements as always. So let's take a look on the agenda. First of all, I would like to make a short introduction to who we are and what we do here at DanCann Pharma, if there should be any new ones at the event today. Then I would like to take you through the highlights during and after the period. After that, I would like to put a point on where we as a company are standing today and what our focus are at, and of course also lastly like to put you into how we see the way going forward from here. And if there should be any questions, I would like to address them after the presentation. So yeah, basically DanCann Pharma, which means Danish Cannabinoid Pharmaceuticals, we were founded back in 2018 as a result of this whole new thing coming up here in Europe, and especially also due to the establishment of the pilot program back in 2018. We are a so-called biopharmaceutical company, mainly focusing at cannabinoids and cannabis. We are licensed for production and distribution here in Denmark. I'm sitting here at the headquarters right now in Antager, and if you're not that familiar with the local area, it's quite nearby to Billund. We work with so-called approved pharmaceuticals, which is, you can say, typically conventional way of introducing and develop pharmaceuticals, but do also handle what's so-called non-approved drugs, which is what we can say define as medical cannabis. A common name for all of this is that we do only work with so-called prescription medicines and drugs prescribed from your doctor, physician. We have raised approximately 18 million Danish kroner as of today, have a small loan facility. Besides that, we have more than 4,500 investors, and we are listed on the Swedish stock exchange called Spotlight Stock Market with our trigger DanCann. So yeah, let's try to look into what has happened during first quarter of this year. What I would like to put some focus on is that we exercised some warrants back in January. We take in additional 9.3 million Danish kroner to strengthen the financial position here in the company. Besides that, we also reached one of major milestones I would like to address, which is that we applied for EU GMP approval for our first facility called Biotech Farm 1. We do also have some highlights after the period, which I would like to touch slightly, where we have had a lot of focus on, or I can say, development of our organization from head position to C-level, and also the way up to the board of directors. And lastly, we could communicate and disclose that we have signed this letter of intent with a Swedish-based medical cannabis company called Untitled Pharma, which I will also come into a bit later. If we take a short look at the financials, I think it's as you can say expected. We saw increase in our revenue, slightly more than 40%, which is positive. We did also have a bit more expenses due to the fact that we finalized last parts of our facility in terms of achieving our proof of concept. As mentioned before, we executed some warrants, which put in additional 9.3 million in the cash holding, you could say. And at the end of the period, we had approximately 10 million at the bank to work with. To put a bit more focus on where we are as a company today, we are very much focused on our first facility called Biotech Farm 1, where we cultivate and develop genetics for raw materials for medical cannabis products. As mentioned before, we submitted our application back in January. To our best estimations right now, we will have the approval sometime during Q3. During the summer, perhaps, but we do also know that we're looking into a holiday period. So, with all respect for that, we expect to have this post-summer. In the meantime, where all this is ongoing, we do of course also have some ongoing commercial/sales activities. Where one of the results was this our pharma agreement, and we expect to be even more concrete in terms of that for the rest of the year. And from we have the approval, we also do have some final product development, which means that we will have to do some stability studies, etc., for delivering pharmaceutical raw material. And with that said, we expect to have our very first product from our facility to the market in the beginning start of 2023. One of the major things for DanCann Pharma currently is also that we in this year and especially also next year facing a more commercial stage for the company. And as mentioned, one of the results of this was that we could communicate this letter of intent with the Swedish-based HC Pharma, which gives them the exclusive rights for our product portfolio in Sweden with a minimum commitment of approximately 37 million Swedish krona for a 3-year period. Because more than that, we do of course also have intention about conquer several other markets. All of our go-to-market based on our Biotech Farm 1 facility is you can say based on a product portfolio that is in development stage right now, where we have the ambition about bringing 3 to 5 products/candidates. But are mainly focused on our THC candidate right now, which we call tetracannabinoid. We do have, besides this Swedish agreement, also have initial traction in also Germany, Poland, UK, and Israel, and have also further ambitions about, you can say, be a multiplied based company and not only, you can say, be reliant on a single country. So that is also in the pipeline for DanCann Pharma. Also, I would like to put some focus on this one due to the fact that we over the last 4-5 months had doing a lot of readjustments here in the company in terms of our organization. And I would like to say from the CEO chair today that I feel that we are at a very good place right now. We have some very strong competencies in the company besides everything. And first of all, we can say hired Sarah, which is a highly skilled operations manager, and she is the new woman in the table of the CEO position. Besides that, we also communicated that we acquired, almost say, Louise, which has a long track record within the pharmaceutical industry in terms of all the commercial things, and she will be, you can say, the head of our subsidiary called Cangros, which is also meant to be like the commercial leg for the whole DanCann Pharma group, so to speak. We did also communicate that he has actually, as of today, has his very first day in the company, Martin, which will be the new man in the CFO chair. And at our AGM, we did also, you could say, elect 2, which most of you guys at HC Andersen also know, as a new member of the board here at DanCann Pharma. If we take a brief look on, you can say, some of the key things and milestones going forward for the rest of the year, we do of course have, we would say, more or less all of our focus on the EU GMP approval for the facility Biotech Farm 1. And once again, we have ambitions about this being achieved during Q3 this year with our very first commercial launch of a products from the facility in the beginning of next year. Further on, and in the meantime, besides this going parallel, we do of course have lot of activities and focus also on the commercial traction for the whole DanCann Pharma group, where very much of that being spent is to taking all the LOIs we have of today into actual binding sales agreements, and we have an ambition and expectation for this to be achieved during Q3 as well, but also for the rest of the year, of course. And besides that, we also still are in the process of our pending application at the DMA, where we have a new product on its way to the pilot program for the Danish patients, which we likewise expect to bring to the market during Q3. So Q3 will be a very interesting quarter for DanCann Pharma, I think so. So I think that was short, brief from all places, and I would like to apologize for that. We actually, you can say, we disclosed the report like I think 14 days ago almost, but running our business is running fast, and we have a lot to do. So apologize for that, Henrik, that we could first today get to meet each other and have this event. But yeah, gladly taking any questions or whatsoever. Thanks.
That's thank you very much. Yeah, but that's perfectly all right. Of course, the top priority is for you to run your company, and as there's a lot of things going on, I fully understand your priorities. So no worries. It's always with startups and life science companies. It's always interesting when they go from being as you have been a developing company to becoming a operational company, and now you have revenue. So could you just share a few highlights on the revenue composition? I guess it's all related to your subsidiary Cancross, but what sort of is it a few orders? Is it many orders? What sort of products? And can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. As the revenue as of today we have in the DanCann Pharma group is, you can say, a result of the acquisition we made last year through, or as of today now, subsidiary called Cancross. And in Cancross is like as I also briefly told about before, is our commercial leg here in the company, where we have some import activities and distribution activities. And as of today, we distribute 3 flour/granular products from the Netherlands Betrocan to the Danish market, and these 3 products are those who generate revenue in the company as of today. Furthermore, you can say the Danish market is still a very immature market, and it is not that big. Of course, we do all have hopes and ambitions, and we really think that it is about to very soon accelerate. We are placed in a position as of today where we have approximately, I would say, 80% of the total Danish market, which is also a quite strong position, also with respect for that when we're going to see even more traction and the whole, you can say, industry opening up for furthermore business. We are ready, and we are ready to scale, so to speak. So very, very confident about our position in the Danish market through Cancross.
And in terms of these different products that are distributed through Cancross into the Danish market, what are they related to different pain relief areas, or how should we understand this?
You could say, for as long as we talk medical cannabis, we are not in a position where we can market any of our products. It is more or less a decision made by the doctor and the patient. But of course, we have some guidelines within the pilot program as of today, and we know that approximately 80 to 90% of all patients who have or have had, you can say, treatment with medical cannabis is due to some sort of pain relief, so to speak.
Okay. And longer term, potentially, although you're currently sourcing from Netherlands, but longer term, is it possible to make similar type of products that you import today from your own production facilities?
For sure. I think so. I don't think that we will at any time cannibalize the products that we have on the market today, due to the fact that we have so many patients on the products already. They have good experience with it. And we cannot, when we talk medical cannabis, you can say copy paste like we can with all other types of generic or APIs, so to speak. But for sure, we will be able to bring quite similar product to the market, which hopefully also could be a bit more, can say, more cheap for the patients to acquire, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, because I think as you've announced earlier on when you acquired Cancros that it's supposed to be in some regards integrated into DanCann Pharma, but you hired Louise Conradsen as a new CEO for the subsidiary. So is that a signal that Cancros will remain sort of a independent status within the group, or what should we understand from this?
It will be like it is right now, and it will be a subsidiary totally focusing on of all the commercial parts of the group, where we have the DanCann Pharma being more manufacturing side. So it is definitely a signal to the world and to the market that we are facing this commercial stage, and for that reason we also try to accelerate through strong competencies in terms of new persons in that chair as the CEO of subsidiary Cancros.
Okay. And just to finish up on the organizational changes, you hired in Sarah Lykke as new COO. Your previous co-founder partner Morten Martinsen, what will be his role going forward?
Going forward, Morten will do what he's best at, and that is in terms of all the botanical aspects of the company, with genetics, doing cultivation and all this kind of stuff, where also you can say in line going forward with that. We are going from this kind of project company but going towards being more operational focused, due to the fact that we are, you can say, very soon reaching this phase. So it's not Morten's interest or strongest competence to do that. So, but he's an excellent in so many other areas, and me and Morten has been within this industry for like the last 5-6 years. So there's so many good know-hows, etc. So Morten will, you can say, be in a position like we called the product development, so to speak. So he will be my second hand in terms of when we're going to discuss new potential ideas for where we're trying to take DanCann in the future, so to speak. So yeah. Okay,
sounds interesting. Now turning to your announcement regarding the big letter of intent agreement with Aurion, the Swedish company, can you talk a little bit about who are they, what are their market position, what about this agreement, the terms, in terms of the overall terms for how you should collaborate?
Yeah, you could say so. Just to talk briefly about who Aurion Pharma is. It's a Swedish-based company operating within the Swedish market. More or less main only actor in Sweden. A lot of very well experienced people behind it, who knows how to run this kind of operations in Sweden. So we are very confident about we have found a solid, reliant partner to take our products to the Swedish market. In terms of the deal, it's still, you can say, it's based on an LOI, so all details is not you can say finalized or disclosed or anything, but it is based on a frame conditions for the next 3 years, where they are, you can say, had put their commitment to take X amount of our products, and for that they will have the exclusive rights for the product portfolio that we are in and about to develop right now. And with that said, they have made this commitment of at least 37 million Swedish for the next 3 years. So yeah.
Okay, but so they will when you're up and running in terms of your production and can supply them with the bulk material, or they can pack it and redistribute into the Swedish market. From where do they get their products today, or are they a startup as well, so they don't have any sales today, or how should we understand it?
Today,
Yeah, it seems.
the deal is based on that you have to products like raw material could be, for instance, like 500 grams or 1,000 grams, and from that they will have the opportunity to repack that in Sweden into patient dosage, so to speak. So that could be like 5-gram cans, like we have with the products of today. They will have the opportunity to ask us for doing that prior to shipment. And in you can say the agreement as of today, it is agreed that all of the products distributed to Sweden will be branded under the DanCann Pharma brand, so to speak. So they will import product and then bring it to Swedish market in space.
Okay, and I hope that there's a little bit of challenge with the sound, but I hope that the audience are able to hear both what you're saying and what I'm saying. What in terms of similar type of agreements like with Arerum, what's in the pipeline? What you know, of course you cannot disclose any names or anything, but when should we expect further announcement regarding these type of deals? Late part of this year or next year?
For sure, it will be within this year, and I think with our ambitions and what we try to achieve here, we will be able to disclose and communicate the very first binding agreements during Q3 this year. There is, of course, also a lot of other similar, you can say, agreements on the table at the moment. But when doing LOIs, you are always two parties to agree on that this should be disclosed to the market. So there is a lot of things going on in the company, and we have good confidence in being able to supply the market with some good news during Q3 2022.
And what is you submitted your application for getting the GMP approval later this year. You submitted that in the beginning of this year. What is the current status? Are you in dialogue with the authorities regarding this? Are they pushing back with questions that need to answer, or is everything going as according to plans?
We are in the process right now, having dialogue with the authorities in terms of the DMA, and like always, they always have something to ask about, and that is what's going on around. So yeah.
Okay. And there is a very straightforward question here. How much from the audience? How much of your bulk are you planning to sell during this year?
I think I got it, Henrik. It is a bit lacking. I would say we are planning to can say put the puzzle together in terms of obtaining necessary sales agreement. We will not be able to actually sell any products within 2022. It will be the very first in the beginning of next year. Of course, we hope to say commercial paperwork will be done within 2022 for the overall, we can say, sales for going forward from 2023 going forward.
And then there's a question regarding the product portfolio currently from Cancros, and I guess it also speaks into the agreement you have with Tata Biopharma. I guess you still have that agreement. So it seems as if the product portfolio, both from Cancros as they import and redistribute your own production, and from Tata Biopharma, there's a whole list of products. So how should we understand this combined offering from you as a group?
I think the overall, you can say, picture that you should make of DanCann Pharma and Cancro is that when we established this company back in the days, we knew that it will take some time before we will be able to bring our own products to market, and it still will, in terms of doing other ways of delivery formats, in terms of not only being based on a flower/granular product, so to speak. So we aim to have a diverse product portfolio that can, you can say, bring life quality to various of different patients in terms of different, you can say, reliefs, so to speak. So of course it can be a bit hard to navigate within, but what we are focusing on right now is what we have in the scope, and just around the corner is the oil product, which we have ambitions about to bring to the Danish market. And if we look into, you can say, our agreement with tilbyder Pharma, which of course all still is in the scope, it is quite a more long-term due to the fact that this is pharmaceuticals which are undergoing right now a phase 2 study, and we still, you can say, are reliant to that going through, and we expect in the very best case this to be, you can say, be actual sometime during 24-25, you can say, initial thoughts right now.
Okay, so that's a bit ahead. But just to follow up on your remarks regarding these different products and their relation to the pain relief process. Is that the main differentiating factor for discussing these various products? How strong they are, and which type of pain relief they try to relieve? Yeah.
I think that the main key factor in this is that in the future we will see, and we will also as a company being more and more focused on not only now we have the raw material and we're very confident about, we become very good at that, and from that point we will look into see, okay, how can we maximize the value of the very good starting material and also maximizing the value for the patients. So this will be a matter of taking, you can say, technology innovation into cannabinoids in terms of how to obtain the active substance in terms of delivery formats. And that could be, for instance, be an oil. It could also be through whatsoever, you know, from the already existing, you can say, pharma industry. So we really try to say how can we enable those two dots, connecting the dots going forward in the future, and that will also be the main key part of the strategy going forward when we have achieved the short-term milestones that we have incoming right now.
Okay, and speaking of the products and the product quality, you recently just in connection with the release of the quarterly results, you announced some very strong results regarding the quality level of your product, and in particular this notion that it's been done without radiation. Could you just take us through what's are you the only one that has made these sort of product quality results, or yeah?
Hard to say. We are still in a very early stage industry, so a lot of things going under the radar, so to speak. But as you mentioned, Henrik, we received our very first analysis on a product not that long time ago, which showed that we have not to be too bullish, but an excellent level of cleanness in terms of the microbacteria level in our products. So it was a very good day here at the company, also showing that we have, you can say, put that much capital into doing things a bit different, and now it also shows off that we are capable of bringing some strong results to the markets, which also in terms of certain regulatory aspects is needed, so to speak. So yeah, that was very gladfully taken, and it was a very good day here at DanCann Pharma.
Yeah, I'm sure that Morten Martinsen was very proud and happy that day, because it sounded as if it was some very good production results, and of course it's up to you to show that you can scale this and also do it in major scales. But just I would assume that since your competitors are using radiation, it's a matter of easier, quicker, and perhaps cheaper production methods. So will your product be more expensive than the current standard of radiated produced products?
No, for sure, I don't think so. Of course, if you look at if you could do this in Africa or whatsoever, for sure it will be a different price level. But we also do have to be compliant with certain aspects of the industry, and also due to the fact that irradiation is not a cheap thing to do. It's actually quite expensive to take your products through that process, and also to validate and all this kind of stuff. It's a matter of time and money. But also due to the fact, and I think we have touched this before, Henrik, due to the fact that our can say facility. One thing is that it looks expensive and it's very fancy and it looks nice overall, but it's also very smart built, I would say. We have a lot of automatization. We are not relying on that many people, and we can cut more than 60 to 70% of the overall staff running such a facility. So one thing is that we will deliver a product to the market that is standardized, and the customers and the patient can say expect to get the same every time. We do also running a very cost efficient facility at the same time. So for me to see, it's a win-win, so to speak, but also a big upfront investment, of course, but a long-term investment for me to see.
And there's also a question. The longer term perspective of entering new markets with new potential partners. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, this is a fast moving environment, and there is a lot of dynamic within this. The strategy for the company is to be on several markets and not only reliant on you can say a single one, 26. In terms of being placed on, let's say, for instance, the German market, so to speak. So we have a de-risk thoughts about being out there in several locations, but of course it also needs to be markets that can say make it possible, due to the fact that medical cannabis is still say we need a common definition about what this is in Europe, but it is with the focus on the European market, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay, time is running, but you just one last question, and it's more general one. You mentioned the German market yourself, and of course there was a lot of interest in the legalization of private use of cannabis, not medical cannabis, but just for your own private use. And you have on many occasions said that it's a good development, but it's actually not affecting your business directly. Is that still valid?
Yeah, as DanCann Pharma is today and will be in the future, we are solely based and focusing on making a difference for the patients. And with that said, we are not you can say supporting or having any interest in terms of an adult use market, so to speak. But we think in general it's very positive that we do see more and more, you can say, acceptance in terms of cannabis in general. So overall a good thing, but not a focus area or a business area that we as a company would like to enter at any time.
No. Okay. And with that, Jeppe, I think we will end it here. It was very interesting to hear your presentation and hear your thoughts on various aspects. So and also thank you for the audience. As always, we will post this so it can be seen afterwards at our various platforms. So with that, Jeppe, thank you very much.
You too, Henrik. Bye bye.
Bye bye.